Hello everyone, this is Dusty Circuit here, and this is going to be another tutorial video. This time it's going to be for how to install Fabric or Forge, depending on which of those two mod loaders you prefer, onto the vanilla or the default launcher. I have made a tutorial previously on the multi-MC launcher, which I use and love, but I'm going to be making this video for those players who prefer the vanilla launcher for simplicity's sake, and either that or they don't want to adopt a new launcher. So here we go. So of course, I'm going to do Forge first, and then I'll do Fabric, but I'm going to put links in the video so you can skip directly to which part of the tutorial, depending on which you want to install or use. So, for Forge, first you're going to want to download it first of all. Of course, make sure you're downloading from the site. And I would typically go recommended version, like because the latest one could have bugs, so go this one. And always ignore this ad. People got viruses on their computers that way, so of course, so keep that. As soon as I don't know why it takes so long. When it finishes, grab it. So you can close out of the browser, so then you just open this file, and of course install client. I already did this before, so it's already installed for me, but it's just going to run through this process, and then when that's finished, you can close out of it. And from here, you can either create a new profile or you can use one of your existing ones, but for this, I'm just going to make a new one. And you should see a Forge option in here, and if you don't, I ran into this issue before. I installed it and it just didn't pop up, so just close and reopen the launcher and this should pop up. And then you can just click create and then done. And I would typically just close this first to verify it works. Okay, so as you can see, we have Forge installed. And then from here, you can just simply download whatever mods you want and go right ahead. Optifine isn't quite ready yet, but I'm just going to grab the preview version for this video because I'm doing 1.15. And to install mods, simply go into just go to your search and then just type in the following. And then you should have a .minecraft folder. And a mods folder. If not, create one. Okay, so once you've downloaded your mod, drag it into the mods folder, and then launch your game. And there you go. You should have your mod installed. I went with Journey Map this time because I could not find a updated version of Voxel Map for 1.15. Okay, so I fumbled about with different versions of Forge and a few different mods, and I could not get Optifine to work. This probably has something to do with it only being the preview version, but at least with Forge, I haven't been able to get it to work. Well, if I try to load up this profile of Optifine, it probably will work. Okay, so as you can see here, we have Optifine. So, I'll actually probably post I'll probably update the description of this video when the final stable release of Optifine comes out, and once that's working, I'll update you guys on that, or if I find another solution before then, I'll update you guys as well. So anyway, that's Forge, basically, how to get that up and running. So, it's just if you want to install more mods, just add more of the mods, and if you ever run into issues with your Minecraft suddenly doesn't launch, then it's more than likely it's a mod that you added. And usually what I do is I add one mod at a time, then run, then launch, and then that way I can catch, like, if there's one mod that I add, then if the game doesn't launch anymore, then I know it's that mod. And okay, so now we're going to do Fabric. Okay, so this is the official page you download Fabric from. And I'm just going to, I may have mentioned this in previous tutorial series I did for Multi-MC, but for those of you who don't know, Fabric is kind of an alternative mod loader for Minecraft, and while Forge has kind of been the standard, Fabric is kind of like an emerging mod loader, and it's actually what replaced the mod loader that came before that was for 1.13 that was called, well, if memory serves, I believe, okay, so Fabric is basically like an alternative mod loader to Forge. Another alternative probably a few of you guys might know about is Light Loader, a mod loader that was intended to be more lightweight than Forge is. And Fabric is essentially the same kind of general idea of that, but of course basically when Minecraft went to 1.13, Mojang basically recoded the entire game, and so that made Forge very difficult to get a port to 1.13. And in fact, I think Forge actually skipped 1.13 and went directly to 1.14. His 1.13 was just kind of it's like the game became really badly unoptimized due to the recode, and 1.14 and more so 1.15 were just kind of updates to patch the many issues that recode changed, brought on to the game as far as unoptimizations. And in 1.13, I'm guessing this was just sort of like a stopgap measure, if nothing else, but this mod loader called Rift was added or released, and quite a few mods had got ports to that, and new mods even were added to utilize it. But when 1.14 came, Fabric came to basically as the successor to Rift, and as it stands currently in 1.15 and even 1.16, Fabric is still getting great support, and actually for I think maybe just two reasons. One being Forge, since MultiMC no longer supports Forge, and I'm continuing to use MultiMC because I really think it's a great launcher still. I'm using Fabric, and also for the reason of Schematica still not receiving updates since 1.12, and Lightmatica only supporting Fabric. So it's really just for those two reasons I'm using Fabric. And since I play on Autcraft and Autcraft Obsidian, of course they have rules about like what mods you can use, and Fabric basically has all the mods I could ever want or need. So anyway, if you guys skipped ahead for the sake of this tutorial, basically you just want to go to this page, and you get taken kind of to this page here. And so basically go to use, and then that'll give you links to the installer, and I would go with this, the jar installer. And then when you open it, you kind of get a window like this. And you'd want client because you're installing this onto the client. And basically you'd want to, you just would want to use the settings as they come here. So then just go install. And you should, basically you could get a profile, or I'm just going to create a new profile for Fabric. And then you should hit play, and then it should launch for you. Well, before you install any mods on Fabric, I recommend you install Fabric API. And then I don't know why this isn't just built into Fabric, but you need this for a lot of mods to work. And Optifine is a little bit, on Fabric is a little bit different. You first need to install OptiFabric, which is a dependency that Optifine requires to run on Fabric. Okay, so we should have Optifine and Fabric installed. And we do. And downloading a mod is really, it's kind of basically just as straightforward as downloading mods for Forge, but I would search the following. And hopefully we should have voxel map now. And we do. As you can clearly see. So one more thing I'd like to show you how to do is I do highly recommend it. Is Minecraft by default when you first launch it is set to have 1 gigabyte of memory or RAM allocated to it. And well, if you're just playing vanilla or just vanilla with and no mods, that may be fine. Or if you're just on a computer that doesn't have a lot of RAM. But if you can, I highly recommend you increase the allocated RAM to at least 2 gigabytes, if not more. You can, especially if you're going to be using mods, it's going to really use up a lot of your RAM. But I highly advise do not allocate more than half of the memory that's available to your computer to Minecraft. There's a few different ways you can find that. Here's one method that I recommend. As you can see, I have 16 gigabytes installed. Or another way is if you look at Task Manager, which you can pull up just by searching Task Manager. And then if you go to memory, it shows you basically everything you need to know about your memory or your RAM. As you can see, I have 16 gigabytes and currently about just under 6 gigabytes are in use. And then, of course, everything you need to know here. So, just go to edit your whatever instance you're using, and then more options, and then you should find this. And I believe this is what it's set to by default, but if you only have 4 gigabytes in your of RAM, go with 2 gigabytes, no more than that. If you have 8 gigabytes, you could go... I used to go with 3, but you could go up to 4. But typically I go with 4. These have 16 gigabytes, and that's only about 25% of my RAM. And 4 gigabytes is plenty for most. Even for me, it's plenty. So it's save that, and then when we launch, it should use 4 gigabytes of RAM. Or at least I'll show you how to find that. Okay, so on your F3 screen, you should see basically in the top left, or the top right, see right below it says Java, it shows mem, and it's currently going up to about 1 gig and then dropping down, and then right on the other side of the slash it says 4096 megabytes, or in other words 4 gigabytes. And if it's 2 gig, you'd say 2 something, and yeah. So if you're watching this, then if you're able to recreate what I've shown in this video, then congratulations. And by the way, the what I just talked about with the memory can also applies to Forge as well as Fabric. Or even if you're using Light Loader or any other mod loader, that also applies. So, and also Vanilla. So, thank you for watching this video if you've made it this far. And I really hope this tutorial helps a lot of players out as far as installing mods on their vanilla MC launchers. And remember to rate, comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next content. This is Dusty Circuit signing out. Bye!